Thank you, dear listeners, for taking our time to tune in to another episode of The Spark. We are committed to bringing you the most captivating stories of some professionals, unveiling the challenging transitions and secrets to their successful journeys to guide your career path. My name is Mabel Shu, and I am your host. My guest for today is Dim Ebenye Karine. Karine is a Cameroonian and she has over 8 years of experience in various fields in community development. She has been involved in projects to promote gender equality, good governance, and peace in Cameroon. Ebenye is a former gender officer at the Center for Human Rights and Democracy in Africa and has a keen interest in advocating for the rights of young people, especially young women. Currently, she serves as the Gender-Based Violence Protection Officer at Caritas, Diocese of Kumba. She's responsible for ensuring gender and protection mainstreaming in all projects and activities of Caritas Kumba, amongst other duties. Hi, Ebenye. It's great to have you here today.
Hello, Mabel. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure being with you. Thank you for the opportunity.
And thank you very much for honoring my invitation. Interestingly, Karine's academic background is kind of wavy, but I wouldn't want to spill that information. I'll let her do the introduction herself regarding her background. So, Karine, my first question is usually, as a kid, what were your dreams? You know, there was always that question they used to ask us when we were younger. What do you want to
I
be when you grow
know.
up? Yeah. So, as a kid, what were your dreams?
I wanted to be so many things, but the one that I can really remember vividly as a young, a baby growing up was being a dancer. And I have a reason for that. I wanted to be a
Oh,
dancer because
wow.
my father, each time he comes back from work,
Yeah.
as a means of relaxation, he'll play music and then just call us children to dance. And whenever I danced, he'll make him very happy and will even earn me some sweets and maybe 100 francs or 25 francs. So I was like, okay. So I want to do this thing because it makes my father happy and it also brought in some money. 25 francs was huge money back then.
Yeah, just for
So,
dancing.
yes, so I wanted to be a dancer. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. But looking at your background, you ended up doing a degree in linguistics and then you went on to do a master's in peace, conflict, and security. So when did you
Mhm.
lose your interest in dancing?
Okay, well, I now took dancing as a hobby and not as a career path because I still dance and I still enjoy dancing.
Okay.
However, growing up now, I started understanding what society is, trying to find my place in society. Actually, there's another information that I left out.
Hmm.
So after I had my advanced level, I went to the teachers training college in Bamenda. So I am a trained teacher. And, and I've been doing so for close to 10 years now.
Oh, wow.
Um, but after the teacher training college, I now went to the University of Boya to have a degree in linguistics because I actually teach English language and literature in English. So linguistics was a continuation of the diploma I had in English.
Okay.
And then, yeah, so it's within the teaching core and language, understanding language, the science of language, and all of that. That was my mom inspired me to actually be a teacher. My mother is a teacher, and I loved how she loved her job.
Hmm.
And so she encouraged me to, take up a career path in that. I actually did not want that because what I wanted after I had my advanced level was to be a journalist.
Oh,
Um,
you changed
so-
again.
yes, yes.
Wow.
So, but she encouraged me that no, I could still be the journalist I wanted to be sometime in the future and all of that. And then, yes, let me just give this a try. I found myself in it, and I actually loved teaching. It gave me the opportunity to meet people, diverse people year in, year out. And now coming back to the master's degree in peace and conflict. So In 2016, when the crisis started in Cameroon, in Anglophone Cameroon, that
Mm-hmm.
was when the University of Boya launched this program in peace, conflict, and security.
Okay.
So I had always wanted to get involved in the humanitarian world in addition to my, teaching profession. I wanted to get into the humanitarian world, but I did not know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I needed some training. So I saw this course as an opportunity for me to get trained to get into the humanitarian world. And should I say, well, coincidentally, that was when the crisis too broke out in the Anglophone region. So going to school was very challenging because, we had the crisis to deal with and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted something. I wanted to get trained on how to get into the humanitarian field because I really wanted to get into just help people. So that's how I found myself into the humanitarian field. And I am particularly interested in protection, GBV, anything protection. And my group of persons, I know that I have been called to serve.
Mm-hmm.
You have young women and girls, or women and girls in general. So whenever I'm doing anything in relation to, supporting women, helping women, I just light up. And that's how I found myself there.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, this is really interesting. Now you understand why you are a special guest on this show because of your interest in young people also. So we are using this to also motivate other people who are struggling with one finding their feet and trying to get a stand. So
Mm.
carrying from being wanting to be a dancer to being a teacher to being a linguist and then going again to the humanitarian sector, which of the
Mm.
yeah, which of these roles would you say you enjoyed or you enjoyed the most?
Well, so the thing is, it was challenging for me to say, for example, someone asked me, "What do you do?" So I don't know if I should say I'm a teacher, I'm an aid
Yeah,
worker,
it's
I am a this, I'm
tricky.
a that, I'm a that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not really know how to, where to fit in myself. But over the years, I have come to understand that it's not really about the title, but it's what I do. So there is something I do that cuts across these various professions, I should say. That's empowering women, empowering girls. So whether it's in the classroom or it's in one very enclave community or
Mm,
in the town, wherever I find myself,
mm,
at the core of what I do is to empower women or girls. So when I get into the classroom, for example, I remind myself, I tell myself that if the only thing I do in this classroom is to teach these girls or teach my students English language or literature, I would have failed as a teacher because I understand that there is much more for me to do than just teach
teach.
English language and the novels that we do. So
Right.
there, I bring in an empowerment component. So I enjoy doing all because I find joy. I
Yeah.
find that satisfaction knowing that I am empowering somebody in whatever it is I do. So even if I become a journalist now, or I have an opportunity to say work in a media house, I am very sure that what I'll be doing in that media house would be directed to empowering somebody, empowering a young girl, a woman, or something. So I enjoy doing all of them because in all of them, I find joy and satisfaction knowing that there is an empowerment component in them all.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, it's interesting to hear even the passion you use to talk about the work you do. So the thing that strikes me most in what you just said is not about the title, but it's about what you
Mm.
do. I'm
Yeah.
inspired to know that you're not just doing this because you want to have the title of humanitarian worker or teacher, but you're doing this because you're interested in creating an impact in the life of other people. You're doing this because empowering other people makes you happy. Thank you very much for that.
Mm.
And so, in this journey, did you have a mentor to guide you through decision making, especially as you were transitioning from one role to the other? Were you ever did you ever have a mentor around?
Definitely. It wasn't as easy as I make it sound now.
You make it
It
sound
it
really easy, actually. Really easy.
No, no, I had a hard time. It was not easy. I was battling with that. There was this, internal battle. I was
Mhm.
battling with myself. But why are you sure you are not supposed to remain in the classroom? Why are you doing and all of that and all of that? My very first mentor is my mother.
Yeah.
Um, yes, she has always been there. She's still there, coaching and guiding me. So I expressed my interest in wanting to switch fields, or
Mm-hmm.
not switch, let say extend. And she was like, okay, so if I have an understanding of what I want to do, I know where I am going to. She's there to give her support, her guidance. And even when I come with the challenges I face, she'll be the very first to encourage and say, no, you can do this, keep going, keep pushing. And she'll give her own support, no matter how small it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes she will not even understand the concepts I study in school, but she would be there to just encourage me. So
Yeah.
I think that's the role of a mentor based on her own experience, her life's experiences. She
Mm-hmm.
used her life experiences to guide me through.
Okay.
So my number one mentor, and she's
Right.
still there
Yeah.
guiding me through all of this. And professionally
Yeah.
and career wise, I've had several mentors, and I still do,
Okay.
both in the academic and in the humanitarian world.
Okay.
Yes, I have them. I have a brother, a friend, who is a mentor, he's a coach, and all of that to me. He too is a teacher, um, and doing several other things. And he too is in, community development,
Mm.
empowering youth, and all of that. So I shared um, my dream of extending to this other sphere.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, so you have to read, you have to make research, and you have to find the balance.
Mm-hmm.
Because that
Mm-hmm.
was the thing, finding the balance. How do I find the balance between this and this?
Yeah.
So he was there to coach, to guide. And when I started volunteering with the Center for Human Rights, because I started there as a volunteer. I met our executive director there, Dr. Vale. By the way, the brother I talked about, Aton Jume, he's a doctor now.
Oh yeah.
Yes, so he's quite inspirational, very,
Mm.
very inspirational. And then Dr. Violet too, at that time, was doing her PhD in the university under gender department. So she guided me through that. Okay, this is what you would find here, because it was really new. You see my
Yeah.
background; I have nothing in gender. So, and then
Yeah.
I'm doing a master's in peace, conflict, and
Peace.
security
Uh-huh.
with little or no background from any of the courses. But she
Mm-hmm.
was there to guide me on what to expect, on how to navigate, and and all of that. And there are several other persons that have inspired me even from afar,
Mm-hmm.
to get to where I am today. And yes, I have had mentors, and I still do in
Okay.
the academy, my professional life. I have
Okay.
them.
Okay. Um, so looking at your background and the mentorship you've been able to have, do you think
Mm.
that if you didn't have these mentors around you, maybe you would have been on a different path today?
I think even if not on a different path, but I would have been very confused.
Okay.
I
Okay.
I would
Okay.
have been very confused, because they helped how should I shed light
Yeah.
on the path that I had chosen. They did not choose the path for me.
Right. Right.
They guided me through the path that I chose. So
Right.
they helped shed light. So
Mm-hmm.
I would have been another path, or even if not, but I would have been very confused and maybe still struggling, or be where I wasn't supposed to be. Though
Okay.
I know that I am not where I really want to be, but I have made progress. So they have played, a great role in taking me to where I am today. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
based on their own experiences, and just shedding light on the path. And okay, so this is how you go, this is how you do it, and all of that. Someone once said that there's this common saying that we learn best from our mistakes, but one of my mentors told me that, yeah, we learn from our mistakes. However, it's better to learn from the mistakes of others, because you might make your own mistake and never survive, or you
Yeah.
never live to tell the story. But
Exactly.
when you have a mentor who tells you that, okay, in my own journey, my career journey, this is the error I made, this is the mistake I made, this is a wise person will not want to make their own mistake before they learn. Now you learn from this other person.
Yeah.
So yes, they have
It's
played a
easier.
great role in. Yes, yes, it's much easier when you have someone guiding you.
Right. Okay. So basically, what I get is you're saying that mentorship is good, mentorship is very important, but it's also it comes in more like a catalyst when you have an idea on what you want to do, because you shouldn't expect that a mentor should come and tell you do this and do this. The mentors basically don't know your strength, right? They don't know
Yeah.
what you're good at, so it's left for you to choose, and maybe the mentor can guide you and say, okay, maybe I think you are better off in this aspect than in this aspect. So
Mhm.
okay, great. Karine, so you've had a very long and interesting journey, but I know that it didn't come without challenges. So would you
Yeah.
like to share with us some of the challenges you encountered? Because I try to imagine the transitions you've had to do, and moving is like just even at work, when you want to leave one task to the other, you need to
Mhm.
have that mental balance to be able to move into the next.
Indeed.
Yes. So would you want to share with us some of the challenges you went through and how you overcame them?
Yeah. There's been a lot of challenges, I should say. Transitioning, managing between with the transition from the teaching to the humanitarian world. My study was because it was a whole new world. I was
Yeah,
getting into it was a new field, so I found it very challenging relating to some of the concepts that I was learning.
I
So
can
it
imagine.
wasn't. Yes, it wasn't. Sometimes you sit there and it's like they're speaking Chinese. It's English language the teacher is speaking, but you hear it like Chinese because it's an entirely new concept. And so I had to make extra efforts
Yeah.
to do self-study.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
when I introduce this concept in class, I have to go back because I know that I am in the same class with people who already have background knowledge, who have
Right.
experience in this thing, who have, but me, I'm just there, just empty passion. So I had to go back, do self-study, do research, and all of that, so that I can be able to catch up. Because depending on just lecture notes or class notes, that was very, very, limited. So yes, so that was the extra effort I had to make to overcome that challenge of, should I say, knowledge gap or so. Yes.
Mm.
So the self-study, put in
Mm-hmm.
extra work and all of that. And again, there really wasn't much of, should I say, social life. I wasn't really, interacting with friends, visiting, doing all those social stuff as much as I wanted to. That's a
Hmm.
challenge because,
That's
as a young
surprising.
person, you would want to do this, do that. But with what I had and, teaching, studying, and now volunteering with
Mm-hmm.
this organization and now working in another town
Mm-hmm.
different from where the teaching school is. So it didn't give me much of a social life, I should say.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it didn't give me much of that, but I make the most of the little time I have.
Yeah. And
That's
I
how I
think
do
I
of it.
think it paid off. When I just listened to your story, I think it really paid off.
Sure, I am happy, I'm fulfilled,
Yeah,
I'm contented.
you sound happy, you sound fulfilled, you sound like you're enjoying what you're doing. And Karen, so I just have another question around volunteering. I remember you mentioned that you had volunteered at some point. So would
Yeah.
you want to share with us your experience with volunteering and how it contributed to you being the person you are today? Because you hear most of the time when we mention volunteering, there's a couple of reasons why most young people don't want to engage in volunteering. So can you share with us your
Mhm.
volunteering journey and how it impacted you?
Okay, thank you. That's an interesting question there. So when I was rounding off with my master's degree in 2018, we are already at the heart of the crisis. I was like, there was now so much energy now that I know this thing. I want to do something. I want to work. I want to do this. But there isn't no, should I say, organization that is willing to do, oh no, come work with us. And then I was like, okay, if
Mhm.
I want to wait to be employed by some organization, I'll wait forever.
Yeah.
That's how I got the idea of just volunteering. And again, now it was just head knowledge I had. I didn't have, practical experience. I've not been
Mm.
to the field doing all of these things I've learned in the classroom. So that's how I started volunteering with the Center for Human Rights and Democracy in Africa. I went there as a volunteer under the agenda department. And for 1 year, I was with the organization for 1 year straight, and I didn't receive dime, not even a franc,
As a
as in
volunteer.
your transport fare, I mean, I didn't receive anything. But you know what? I
Wow.
was so happy going there
Yeah.
every blessed day.
Yeah.
My sisters used to call me Miss Chada because I mean, I was always there. Nobody,
Yes.
even in my house, nobody in my family knew that I wasn't being paid
Mm,
because of the passion with which I was going to the organization. Why was I doing that?
interesting.
Because there at the organization, I had the opportunity to gain experience. I
Right.
told you that I was from a new field, and
Yeah.
then I have now just this head knowledge.
Mhm.
But I didn't know this thing I've learned in the book. I've read all these things. I didn't know how to apply that. So
Mm,
Chada gave me that platform to put to practice what I had learned in the classroom. So it was another level of learning, of gaining experience, now hands-on experience. Now I'm doing this thing. I'm
right.
interacting with beneficiaries. I know, all the concepts I studied in school. I now know how to apply them.
Mm,
So just that alone was more than any amount of money that they could have paid me at that time. Imagine that I left school and I was just going as an employee to an organization. It would have been disastrous.
yeah. Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
it would have been disastrous. So Chada gave me the opportunity to gain hands-on experience, skills, now practical skills, whether it's in facilitating, doing case management,
Yeah.
working with survivors of, GBV survivors, all of that. I gained the experience there. So volunteering granted me the opportunity to gain hands-on skills and experience. And then, when you're looking for a job with this, they'll ask you for this number of years of experience,
You
this number of years
know.
of experience,
You know.
you don't have it.
Yes.
But if you are volunteering, as I did,
Yeah.
that's
One
an
year.
easy way.
Yeah. 1 year is
For
a
one.
whole lot of experience.
Yes, and then after that, now the organization, I was now employed. I now became an employee with the organization because the gender officer at the time was promoted to the executive director. So they were now looking for a gender officer. And come on,
How
you've had
things
this
turn
person
around.
who has been in the
Of
organization
course.
for a year,
Ebenia is
and she's
here.
an in person.
Mhm.
So that's how I became, gender officer, now an employee with
Right.
the organization, and I served in that position till I left. So I was in the organization for 3.5 years. Yes, 1 year as a volunteer, and then 2.5 as an employee with the organization. So there are so many benefits that come with being a volunteer. It also exposed. I built, a rich network from the organization, from my volunteering experience.
Mhm.
Because when project staff, when we're going to this, town, meeting these people,
Mhm.
they're teaching you, showing how this is done. As a volunteer, you're there too. You're gaining the knowledge. You're building the
Yeah.
network.
The
You're
field
doing all.
experience too.
Yes. So it's a rich experience being a
Wow.
volunteer. There's so much to learn for
Yeah.
nothing. You pay nothing.
Say for nothing. For nothing
Yes,
actually.
yes.
Wow.
For free,
Karen.
you learn all
Wow.
of those.
Just wow. There's so much. It's I'm sure we can have this conversation till the end of the month. And
No.
on behalf of Karine, I want to say thank you to Chada for transforming
Of
somebody's
course.
life.
No. Ooh. I
It's
am
a whole
I keep
transformation.
thanking the executive director and the founder of the organization, that's Barrister Bobala. I keep thanking them for the opportunity, the privilege,
Yeah,
and the platform that they give to, a novice like me.
of course. Okay. So Karen, in all of these, right? I know you mentioned that what you're interested, your the passion you have now, it's also as a
Mhm,
result of the fact that you're empowering people. But I just
mhm,
want to ask, in all of these that you do, what is the thing you find most rewarding or the thing you find most fulfilling now?
mhm. And so, what I find most fulfilling when I see or this girl, this woman walks up to me, or even if they do not come up to me to express that, but I
Mhm.
notice that there's a change in her behavior. She has become more confident.
Hmm.
She's making informed choices.
Yeah.
She's taking responsibilities for her actions. She's becoming better than she was. And I know that there is just some little contribution I had in,
Yeah.
bringing out the best from this person. It is the most rewarding feeling I have. I feel
Yeah.
very fulfilled. Yes, very, very fulfilled knowing that this person's life has become a little better than
Right.
I met her. That's what is rewarding. That's what is most fulfilling to me. So it's just when I see women living to the best of their potentials,
You're right.
that's yes, that's
You're
it for me.
you're happy when people are happy.
Definitely.
So just to end, my last question. I would like you to just advise to anyone who is struggling to also find their passion in life, anyone who is interested in getting this kind of energy you have, getting this kind of path that you have. Just any advice before we conclude.
Yeah, so the first thing is, sometimes we want to have everything figured out before you engage.
Hmm.
However, even right now, me, sharing this experience, I still do not have everything figured out.
Right.
As in the entire picture, this, that, that. Yes, I may have a blueprint, maybe in 5 years' time, in this, that, but it's still not perfect. So
Mhm.
that means I take it a day at a time, a week,
Yeah.
and so do not wait until you have the entire picture all figured out. So I want to be an IT engineer, this is that and that. I go, you're waiting and you do this, that. However, start serving, start doing the little you can. Start just get to work, even if it's not what you desire to have to what you desire to be, but just start from somewhere. Start from somewhere. Just start from somewhere. I had been doing my small humanitarian, activities even before I had the opportunity to, go to school and learn and do all the formal things.
Mhm.
But, the volunteer, even with at the level of the community, there's this community outreach. You just bring people together and you teach them. I've been doing this even without knowing the humanitarian principles and all of that. I've
Mhm.
been doing that. So start serving. Don't wait until you figure it out. Don't wait until you understand everything. Just start doing something. They say the journey of 1,000 miles. I hope I get this proper right. If this bit is server right, yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
take that first step. Take that
Right.
first step. And secondly, um, in the course of my professional life, I have come to understand that success is not a destination.
Right.
The younger me, the teenage me,
Mhm.
would if you ask me what is success, I'll tell you that when I become the
Ambassador.
UN this that, or the ambassador, Cameroon
Yeah.
ambassador to the UN this that and that and that. That is what I would have defined as
Right.
success. And then I'll only be waiting to get to that point before I knew I was successful.
Mm.
However, success is a journey. So embrace all everything that you find along that path, because there isn't no arrival point that you say, oh girl, I finally got it.
Mm.
Sometimes when you to that point that, oh, okay, finally this is me, and then you had missed out on the entire journey, the process. It's really not worth it. So
Right.
enjoy the process, the challenges, the difficulties, the doubts, you questioning yourself if actually you're doing the right thing. That's the journey to success. So
Mm.
make sure you enjoy every bit of it, because
Mm.
success is a journey and not a destination. So don't hold back. Don't, hold back from being happy, being, no, just enjoy every part of the journey. And lastly, what was this other one? I hope I remember, because there are three things I wanted to say. It skipped my mind, but I hope before we round off.
Oh, oh my God. Oh my God. Karen, thank you so very much. You've been really inspiring. There's a lot I've also learned from you, in as much as I thought I was coming to just share these with other people. But thank you so much. And to all those who are listening, Karine says you should start from somewhere. Don't wait
Yeah.
to have all the resources before you want to begin. It's a journey,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a continuous journey. You keep learning as you go by. And who knows, as you begin, sometimes you might find other things that you want to be, you become interested in, and you can also choose to transition. You can be a jack of all trades and master of many. So just start from anywhere. And thank you so much, Karine. It's been a pleasure. It's really been a pleasure.
Thank you, Mabel. Thank you for this opportunity to share my story just a little bit. And I hope that some youth out there who is listening to me is inspired to
Definitely.
make a difference. Yes, it's inspired to just find your own space, carve your own niche. And as we say in our local parlance in Cameroon, just die there. It means you you put in your maximum effort. So it's not about you doing everything because you cannot do everything, but just find your own small corner, your own little space, and keep shining your light there, no matter how dim it is. But the putting in efforts, and the little efforts put together would do something great. So don't minimize your talent, your gifts. Don't minimize what you were doing. Don't say, oh, because you are not on TV, nobody sees what you're doing, then that means you're not creating impact. No. Even if one person at a time, that's impact.
Correct.
That's impact. Even if it's with a child, that's impact. So don't be discouraged. Just keep doing your own. Find your niche and die there.
Oh, yes. To all my listeners, I'm hoping that you would still be present for the next episode. But like I always say, until then, don't give up.